Hello. Thank you for showing up to listen. Thank you for coming by. I have something very important to tell you. You are the few who are going to have your lives spared when Jesus comes. Not because of me, because I go by the Bible. I don't go by pastors, ministers, uh, hearsay, women, men. I don't go by that. I go by the Bible and the Bible only. I get a lot of things off of YouTube. There's some guy I really like, but uh, he's an he's SDA. SDA is a cult. It's a cult. It's a white cult. They said everything blacks do, they take it upon themselves not to do. Black people like to shout. Of course, you can do everything out of order, but you can't put that down as far as when people want to rejoice. When the music is playing, you can't say no. You can't rejoice. That's a lie. That's a lie. Blacks are more conservative than Christians. Blacks are more conservative than Christians. You can't say you can't shout, and then when you do shout, you're some kind of stupid idiot, or you're not good, or something's wrong with you. That's garbage. SDA is a cult. It's trying its best to get away from black people. That's the reason they come up with these lousy, sickening, dead hymns. So blacks won't come there. I'm gonna be proven right at some point. I'm gonna be proven right at some point. The thing is, I want to tell you a lesson today is the abomination of desolation is coming up. The first abomination of desolation was when the Romans forced the Jews, the king of the, I can't say it too much, but they'll mark this video. So I'm gonna just say the issues. Jesus was the king of the issues. I just said it, but I wanted you to understand what I'm going to say. Okay? Now, in Roman times, they forced when Julius Caesar gave the Jews all of the things they wanted. Why? Because the Jewish people, the issues, yeah, the issues came in, and remember, these are black people. These are the American people, and the ones around the world spread out by slavery. Okay, these are the black people. It's always been Roman, Christian, and black people issues. Roman, Christian, and black people issues. Okay? Now, you got to understand these are the issues are black, just like they are now. It's the Christians and the issues. And that's who we are. And I'm gonna get an apology from that one pastor who said that we are not the issues. He's gonna give an apology. He's gonna apologize at our feet one day, like he apologizes to everybody else that got money. You got to watch these people. What is it, Anthony Mitchell? He apologizes to everybody but black people. You know he's Trinidadian, right? Yeah, he was born in America, but his parents were Trinidadian. That's where he doesn't have our experience. He doesn't have our experience. He don't know who we are. I don't care what he says. He don't know who we are. He's gonna bow down to black people and because he said that straight out in his first of his ministries, he's gonna bow down and say that again to black people. I apologize for what I said. You are the issues. Okay, now remember, Christians brought a pig called Romans, brought a pig, forced it on the Ishes. Okay? Now, they're black. It's always been black and Ish. Black and Ish. Which you are. You're the Ishes. Okay? Now, they forced this pig on them and they made them eat pig in the temple. They put it on the altar and they made them eat pig or they would die. If anybody tell you that during the Civil War that they fought for black people to let black people go, that's an absolute lie. They were losing. And they had to bring the slaves in as extra people to help them fight. We helped them fight to win that war. We saved America. And I'm gonna show you where we saved America once again. Once before. We saved America once before. Okay? The issues were why were issues expelled from Rome in 19 AD? Now, Jesus came at about 26 AD. So this is about 6 or 7 years before Jesus. So I want you to listen to what they're saying here.
In the year 19 AD, the Roman Senate passed a decree that would upend the lives of tens of thousands of people. 4,000 Jewish men of military age were rounded up and shipped to Sardinia.
Now see, they were getting tired of these people. They were getting tired of the issues. I'm tired of y'all. The Roman Senate. You know, what was that? About the football, Coach Prime and Nick Saban got his tail talking about the Senate gonna vote on them not getting money and stuff. This man made over almost dang near $1 billion. And he gonna vote that they don't get, he ain't picked up a football. But yet still he wants them to stop getting money. That's the Senate. That's who they are. That's who they are, Christians. They're Catholics. And then you have your in the Apocrypha, which is the part of the books that was closed. Jesus said, you can't know that. That's closed until later time to really understand what all this is about, because you would never understand now. And it's open now, the Apocrypha. And these people in 19 AD, they was talking about they went to the Senate and they closed the Christians. The Christians, the Americans now did this.
Island so ravaged by malaria that the Romans...
They're going to, I might have missed some of it, but I want to tell you, they're going to send all of these young boys of military age. They were scared of the young issues of military age. They were going to send them to an island that was infested with malaria.
And historian Tacitus would later describe their fate with chilling indifference. If they died from the brutal climate, he wrote, it would be a cheap loss.
Cheap loss.
The rest of Rome's Jewish population, perhaps 40,000
Black,
soldiers, faced an impossible choice. Abandon the faith of your ancestors. Burn your sacred texts. Renounce the customs your family had practiced for generations. Or leave Italy forever.
Did you hear that? They want you to abandon your ish history. Abandon your ish God for Rome's gods. The thing is, you didn't do what they did. You stopped doing. God said to separate yourself. You didn't do what they did. You decided, I'm not going to eat the food of the king, like Daniel. I'm not going to eat that food. I'm not going to do what they do. I'm not going to go out and eat what they eat. They eat blood, you know. And then you got these foolish issues who love medium rare steaks, and God told you don't eat blood. You're gonna get all kind of diseases eating blood. He told you now, but you're gonna go by the Romans, the Americans. You're gonna do exactly what they do, and then they just told you here they stopped doing what they did. I'm gonna turn that back just a little bit. I'm saying all of this, it goes somewhere. Trust me.
Your sacred texts. Renounce the customs your family had practiced for generations. Or leave Italy forever. This wasn't the first time Rome had expelled a foreign religious group. It wouldn't be the last. But the expulsion of 19 AD stands out for one troubling reason. We have 4 ancient sources that describe what happened. And
I told you, it's about 7 years before Jesus was born. They were still messing with him.
They all tell different stories. One blames a financial scandal involving a wealthy Roman woman, while another points to aggressive Jewish missionary activity. A third lumps Jews together with Egyptian cultists
in a
general crackdown on foreign religions.
They just hated their color.
The fourth says almost nothing about why it happened at all. So what actually caused the expulsion? Was this an act of religious persecution? A response to genuine criminal behavior within the Jewish community? A political move by powerful men with their own agendas? Or something else entirely? To answer these questions, we need to go back further, because the story of why Jews were expelled from Rome in 19 AD really begins almost a century earlier.
And you got to understand too that Roman people couldn't be crucified, so Roman people were white. So how could these Jewish people, there I go again, these ish people, be crucified? They would never crucify a white person. It was illegal. Only the people that wasn't born in Rome can be crucified. So that tells you right there that they were a different color. They were different people.
The arrival of the first Jewish captives in chains. The Jewish community.
Did you hear that? They came in chains. They were slaves. They weren't Christian white.
The community in Rome didn't start with willing immigrants. It started with conquest. In 63 BCE, the Roman general Pompey besieged Jerusalem.
Pompey. He besieged Jerusalem. Pompey. His name is Pompey. Remember that name. Remember that name, because after they besieged, or what they mean by besieged is after they overtook it, overran it, slaughtered people. They cut their bellies open because they thought they had gold in there. So everybody that came out, they cut their bellies open to see if there's gold in their guts. Or they used to swallow their gold rings that they gave their wives or whatever, and the necklaces or whatever. And then they try to poop it out later. But they come and slice the bellies open of all these people. These were the Romans. And I'm going to show you what happens when you mess with the issues, the black issues. I'm going to show you what happens to them when you mess with the black issues. Remember, Pompey. Remember that.
After 3 months, his troops breached the walls and slaughtered the defenders. Pompey himself entered the Holy of Holies in the temple. One space so sacred that only the high priest was permitted to enter, and only once per year. He looked around, found no golden statues or treasures worth plundering, and left. But he took something far more valuable with him. Thousands of Jewish prisoners bound for the slave markets of Rome. These captives posed an immediate problem for their new owners.
This is the problem.
Jews refused to work on the Sabbath. They wouldn't eat.
What did they do? They refused to work on the Sabbath. You got to understand, Christians are converts. These people refuse to do what the Romans do. Your parents, my parents, they were brought over. They were more closer to the original slaves. Your grandfather and your parents. They wouldn't know any better, so God wouldn't judge them like He's going to judge us, because we know better. We have everything we need. God said a great explosion of knowledge is coming. Why? Because he wants us to know everything that before he judges us. Now, back then, the issues they would not do what Rome do. They would eat what they eat. They wouldn't worship like they worship. They wouldn't worship the gods that they worship. That's why it's a problem. It's a problem today because we're starting to wake up. They love to say, oh, you're woke. Oh, you love homosexuality. Oh, you're woke. I'm going to tell you why the Christian church is falling. And I'm going to tell you why. But let's finish this first.
Eat most Roman food.
Wouldn't eat
They
Roman
had
food.
strange customs, strange prayers, and an unshakable devotion to an invisible God who forbade them from participating in Roman religious life. Most Roman slaveholders found these restrictions, as one ancient source put it, simply obnoxious.
They would not eat the food of the Romans. They eat pig. They would not, and all the way to death. They wouldn't eat that stuff all the way to death. You see what I'm saying? All the way to death. They wouldn't even eat the food. They wouldn't do anything that the Romans did. But you're doing everything the Romans doing. You love that half-cooked steak, that half-cooked hamburger. You don't care nothing about the laws and the principles of God. You decided I'm going to do what the Romans do. Who don't like you. They don't want you in their church. I done been to a lot of those churches. They throw people out of those churches, black people. They don't want you in their churches. You come in there, oh, hello, we love you, but try to get in any kind of power in that church. They're deceivers. They're deceivers, and they're Roman. They're Roman, and that's never going to come out of most of them. They said 60 to 70% of all Christians voted for our leader today because they didn't want to see you get ahead. They always got to vote for. Why do you think all these presidents, even Obama, all these presidents had crime bills? That's a dog whistle. A dog whistle, you can't hear it when you blow it, but you know what it means. You know what it means. It's going to irritate that dog. And so that dog whistle of we're going to fight crime, we're going to fight drugs, means I'm going to fight black people, white people, and I'm going to keep you guys, you Christians, I'm going to keep you happy and well ahead of the black people. We're going to fight drugs. I'm going to keep you, if you vote for me, I'm going to keep you well ahead of the, that's the dog whistle. That's the dog whistle of the politicians. Crime. I'm gonna fight crime. They do more crime than we do. They take more drugs than we do. Let me tell you, when that what was the name of that drug that went through killing people like it was not 60%, 70% Christians, not black people. 60 to 70% Christians. But we take more drugs. It's a lie. It's coming from the beast. The beast is the TV that they own. The beast is the radio that they own. The beast is the newspaper that they own. They put in these half-naked whores. They putting them in the music industry because they own the black music industry now. That's why you don't see the Michael Jacksons and the black men groups and good old singing and good old dancing. No, all you see is whores running around and half naked. That's all you see now. And the girls and the black women don't tell their daughters. So many are going to die. So many are going to die. They won't tell their daughters anything. These Jews will not assimilate into that culture of Rome. They will not assimilate into Rome, and they were slaughtered. But I'm going to tell you what happens when you slaughter God's people.
Many chose to free their Jewish slaves rather than deal with the constant friction. Fellow Jews also raised money to ransom captives from bondage. Within a generation, a significant population of Jewish freedmen had established themselves in Rome.
Remember, the freedmen are black people. When you hear anything in a book or in Rome or somewhere, he was a freedman. That means he was a black slave that was freed. That's why they call it freedman.
Many of them holding Roman citizenship. They settled primarily in Trastevere, the neighborhood across the Tiber River from the city center. It was a working-class district, crowded and noisy, but it offered something essential: community. By the time of the Emperor Augustus, Rome's Jewish population had grown to somewhere between 40 and 50,000 people, roughly 5 to 6% of the city's total inhabitants. They supported at least 11 synagogues, each with its own governance structure, its own leaders, its own character. Some synagogues took names honoring Roman patrons. The synagogue of the Augustinians likely honored the emperor himself. Others identified by geographic origin: Rhodians, Tripolitans, Eleanzians. Was a friend to the Jews because they had helped him win a war.
See? That's what I wanted to get to. They helped I was that Julius Caesar, Augustus Caesar. They helped them win a war. They helped the Romans win the war like the blacks did in the Civil War that we did. They didn't fight for us. They was fighting because they wanted to make us keep us slaves. That's what George Washington and Lincoln was talking about. They're gonna keep us slaves. They wasn't fighting for us. The only reason they let us get into the army was to die for them, and we helped them win. Just like you just heard here. They helped the Julius Caesar, Augustus Caesar, whoever it was, win the war back then, before Jesus. And so he gave them all kind of rights. Let me keep on going.
In 48 BCE, Caesar found himself trapped in Alexandria,
But here's what
surrounded
happened.
by hostile Egyptian forces loyal to the young pharaoh
about to die.
Ptolemy XIII. His position was desperate, but help came from an unexpected source.
Here it comes.
Hyrcanus II,
Black.
high priest of Judea,
and
his advisor Antipater sent 3,000 Jewish troops to
Black
relieve Caesar's
troops.
forces. Jewish communities across Egypt opened their gates to Caesar's army and provided supplies.
See?
Caesar never forgot this. When he returned to Rome in triumph, he rewarded the Jews with a series of extraordinary privileges that would shape Jewish life in the empire for generations. First, Caesar exempted Jews from his general ban on private associations.
See?
Roman law prohibited most collegia, the clubs and guilds that could serve as cover for political organizing.
They allowed the Jews.
Synagogues were explicitly permitted to continue.
They allowed the synagogues.
Jews could assemble, worship, collect funds, and hold communal meals without fear of prosecution. Second, Jews were exempted from military service. The Roman legions demanded absolute availability,
president
including
of Rome,
on the Sabbath. They
Caesar.
required soldiers to participate in religious ceremonies honoring Roman gods. Neither was possible for observant Jews.
See, Jews, the issues would not serve those gods. What do now? You go and serve those gods in your Greek, in your sorority sisters, in your Eastern Stars, fraternity brothers. This is what I'm trying to get to. You're starting to love those gods again. They wouldn't worship, but you're starting to worship those gods again because you have to have a firm relationship with Jesus Christ. You can't just be good and get to heaven. You can't just keep the commandment. God's gonna love you, but you have to have a relationship. A relationship is when I'm sitting here and I'm watching stuff. I should say, Jesus is watching me. Okay, let's put it like this: if the pastor was sitting on your couch, would you watch half the things that you watch? That's a relationship with Jesus. You know he's watching you, so you don't watch that stuff. You know he's watching you, you don't watch that stuff. That's a relationship. Knowing he's there. He's real. You would do that for the pastor, but you can care less when the pastor going out the house. Okay, all right, shoot, let's go watch all this sex and drugs. You never watch it with the pastor sitting on your couch, but you watch it, no relationship with Jesus, and you cannot get to heaven without a relationship with Jesus Christ.
Caesar understood this and granted them a permanent exemption. Third, and perhaps most importantly, Jews retained the right to collect and transmit money to Jerusalem. Every adult Jewish male was expected to pay a half shekel annually to support the temple.
You got to understand now, 6 or 7 something years later, after this emperor was knifed by the Senate. Why was he knifed by the Senate? They killed him because he was putting too many laws on the Jews. He's putting too many laws on the Jews. And they didn't like it. They didn't like it. They didn't like it. Listen to this now. Listen to this. I want to read this to you. Jerusalem to central religious rituals in parts of Nepal, India, and Taiwan. Historically, the most instance was the discretion of the Jewish temple in 167 BC, before Christ, by the Seleucid king Antiochus V, or whatever that number is. Epiphanies, an event known as the abomination of desolation. What did he do? What did Epiphanies do? He sacrificed a pig on the altar of God, desecrating it. Desecrating it. He says here, it became known as the abomination of desolation. You let something that was an abomination be on that altar. You let them be, there's something that was an abomination to God be on that altar to be sacrificed, to sacrifice things. Okay? It says here, okay, let me go. Epiphanies, he was a man. Antiochus Epiphanes, an event known as the abomination of desolation. Modernly, pigs are part of the mass animal sacrifices at a Gurmati festival in Nepal and are used in tribal and folk religious rituals in East Asia. Okay? The sacrificing of a pig in the Second Temple of Jerusalem is significant historical and prophetic events of Judeo-Christian history. Okay? Antiochus was a man. Antiochus Epiphanes, he was a man. Seleucid king captured Jerusalem. This is when they captured Jerusalem. Okay, 70 AD. They came in. They put that pig up there. They told him, I'm going to sacrifice this pig to your gods. And they made him eat the pig. Some wouldn't, some were slain, and others ate the pig to live. And he erected an altar to a Greek god. The Greek god? Oh, Freemasons. Our people are going back to Freemasonry Greek gods. They're sacrificing and taking communion. You know, when you get into the sororities and the fraternities in college, you have to take communion to the Greek god. You have to eat. They say it's sardines and crackers and stuff, and then you have to drink a wine. So, and then you have to pledge yourself to this God. Why do they do that? Because God says, I've given you over. I've given you over. That's why they're doing these things. This act is considered supreme abomination because pigs are regarded as unclean in Judaism. It triggers the first Ish revolt led by Judas Maccabees. You find that in the Apocrypha. You'll find what he did. It was these Greek people who went against the Ish people, the black Ish people. That's why they call it that. But anyway, they went against the black Ish people. They went against Judas Maccabees. That's found in the Apocrypha. It's real Bible. They took that out of the Bible, eventually leading to the rededication of the temple, which is commemorated by the festival of Hanukkah. Now listen to this now. Prophetic significance. Bible scholars link this historical event to the abomination of desolation mentioned in the book of Daniel. And some believe it is a foreshadow of a future act of blasphemy by the Antichrist. What is the Antichrist going to do? What is another abomination? It don't matter if they put pig. Christians eat pig. They'll go ahead and put it on the altar. Eat a pig sandwich while you're talking, while you're preaching the word of God. It don't matter now, because to these Christians, it matters to the people who are real Jews like myself and my wife, and all the other people who observe the commandments of God, which they told you, these Freemasons, these sororities told you not to worry about. Stop. That was my last video. Watch it. I'm telling you, you're gonna die. You don't watch somebody that got some sense. That's not a Freemason. Freemason is the last of it all. God knew they were gonna take power. That's why they call themselves goats. Call yourself a goat if you want to. That means you're dying. You're gonna die. You have no knowledge. You die from lack of knowledge. God said, on my right hand is gonna be my sheep. On my left hand, to be slaughtered, it's going to be the goats. The goats. So all in these last days, they're being called goats. In these last days, and it says here now, it's going to be the abomination of desolation. What else is called an abomination that's going to happen in these last days that the Antichrist is going to come? We'll figure it out. What else is going to happen? What else is going to happen? What else is going to happen? What else is going to happen when these Freemason pastors get into power? Let me see. Where is that at? Let me look at this. These Freemason pastors, when they get into power, what's going to happen? I hate that this goes away so fast. What's going to happen when these Freemason pastors take over? He's a Freemason. He's a Freemason, people. He's a Freemason. He's a pastor. Don't you understand? They're Greek. They're worshiping Greek gods again. And they're sucking you in with them. And you really believe God is going to accept you into. Let me ask you, will he take Jesus Christ or will he take $1 trillion, $10 trillion? Let's see. The pastor that hollering, oh, Jesus, we love you, Jesus. You got a Bible and oh, Jesus, and go to church and pray with you. And you all, oh, yes, yeah. And then he's a Freemason. Let's see who he'll take.
Hey, $1 trillion, 10 minutes of Jesus, what you got?
Watch her face.
Hey, we would go viral if I answered that trick.
I want you to look at her face for a second after he says he's going to take $1 trillion over Jesus Christ. That's our pastor. That's her pastor. Pastor, what is that? Pastor Mike, who had that hit song. These people are Freemasons. These singers are Freemasons. Kirk Franklin, Freemason. All of these people are Masons. What's those two girl sisters that sing? I can't remember. I forget that. Freemasons. You love the Lord? I love the Lord. I love God. I forget the name of the sisters. But the Freemasons, at least the one is. Listen who he take. And watch her face. Watch her face when he says, I take the $1 trillion.
trillion. Hey, we be goddamn. Hey,
watch your
10
face.
trillion? Unapologetically.
For just a second, watch her face and the disappointment that she has.
Give me the $10 trillion.
Watch her face.
I'm gonna give Jesus 10%. Me and Jesus good. I'm with Jesus all the time.
Here he is. This is church. There he is. Freemasons stomping in the church.
I didn't know who I was as a man, let alone somebody's pastor. But I got tired of seeing people who look like me die senselessly. And I discovered if I go across the water right now, they may not speak my language, but I have to find an interpreter. And I felt like the Lord said, Mike, you're going to be an interpreter for a generation that's leaving church.
He's talking church, ain't he? He's talking church.
Okay. With me, you may not get it all at the same time, but it's going to be a step.
But he's a Freemason. Watch him. That's college. Stomping. And he wants, look at the people. They agree with it.
Let the church say,
let me tell you something. You have already left God. You don't know nothing about the Bible. You sit there and watch that stuff, watch that Freemason stuff. The Freemasons is the ones that's going to go against God. It's a bigger thing than you think it is. The presidents and all of them, they Freemasons. It's big and they're racist. And you in a racist club of worshiping Greek gods, and then they have the black buddies who would go against black people. He told you, I don't want Jesus, I want $10 trillion. But you don't wake up, do you? You don't wake up. You don't wake up. You don't wake up. Stay asleep. Poverty's coming. And then you're gonna ask God to help you. He said, I ain't gonna help you. Because you done left the church.
Let's look.
You done left the church. You done left the church. You done left the church.
They move. McQueen.
Now I'm gonna tell you what God says. Let me go back to this first. Remember Pompey, the general right here? Remember the Pompey, the general, who went in and slaughtered the Jews in 70 AD? They named this city after him. And this is a full-length thing of the city called Pompeii. It's a full-length thing. God says that we're going through the same thing that they're going to go through. But it's going to be nuclear bombs. But it's going to have the same effect, burning you to death. Burning you to death. Okay? It's going to burn you to death. It's going to suffocate you. This is going in how many minutes? In 8 minutes, they're going to show you what happened to Pompeii. They're going to show you what happened. When Vesuvius, that volcano exploded, God said America's going to go down in 1 hour, 1 day, 1 hour. So you're going to be sitting here thinking about what you're going to do tomorrow and what's going to happen to you. 1 hour. The nuclear bombs going to come in and blow everything up and your whole world's gone. Now you're going to be searching for food, searching for water, people slaughtering everybody that made it through, slaughtering each other on the streets. You're going to be in your house, don't know how long you're going to live. Or they're going to come in and slaughter, and you know you're going to get slaughtered. They going through this city. These people now, they were going to wake up. They were going to wake up. It's done got night. That's 1 p.m. now. 1 p.m. 1 p.m. Now, just like we're gonna do, it's gonna happen to us because they're slaughtering us. They've been slaughtering us, and God is gonna deal with the people, and He's gonna deal with the Freemasons. He said 2/3 of you are gonna die. 2/3 of you accepted Freemasonry in Greek, in the American way of eating blood pudding and stuff. Now the volcano about to go. These people had something to do on Saturday. They were going to music lessons and going to eat that good meal and all that. They planning their vacations by the seaside. It's a seaside resort, like Hawaii, Pompeii was. And they're going to show you in 8 minutes how you're going to die. How you're going to die. $3 p.m. You're about dead. You thinking I'm going to get married there next week. I'm going to do this and I'm going to do it. Tomorrow could be your last day. They suffocated badly. They suffocated. The heat came in. They thought they were safe until that pyroplasmic thing came down the thing and buried them all under 100 feet of ash. And suffocate. It burned them so bad. It burned their lungs out of their bodies before they can even think. These people thinking I was going to this place. I'm going to eat these. I'm going to my career. I'm going to driver's license and get my driver's license. 5 p.m. Now just think about you waking up in the morning. Just think about you waking up in the morning. If you don't get away from these Greek people, 2/3 are going to die of black people. 2/3 right off the bat because you're doing this Greek garbage. Now it's coming. It's coming. This is Pompeii. They decided to destroy the poor. They decided, God said, I am the poor. Pompey decided he was going to cut the bellies open of the issues, the black issues, to see if they got any Jews. Just made them suffer greatly. Now, this is where his troops partied. This is where his troops did things. And it was 100% homosexual. 100% homosexual, just about. It was a homosexual resort. 8 p.m., they're thinking about all the orgies they're going to get up there and do. But it's not going to be pretty. This thing is going to... See, you're thinking about what you're going to do tomorrow. By 8 p.m., you could be dead. They're fighting in the wars right now. You could be dead. He said in 1 hour, you're going to be destroyed. All of this America is going to be destroyed. And he said 2/3 of your issues, of black issues, are going to be dead. That's 2 out of 3. So that's just about over half of us. Really? Past half. Now you need to understand, 1 o'clock, 1 a.m. I'm going to speed it up just a little bit. Just a little bit. Just a little bit. Now they scared. Now they saying Jesus. Now they hollering, Jesus, help me. When they was just thinking about going out and do some homosexual stuff. Now they thinking about the Lord. See the pyroplasmic, that'll burn your lungs out. It's almost 1,000 degrees. And it's going to come down over this beautiful city that they had. This beautiful Hawaiian-like city in Italy. In Italy. Complete blackness. Look at there. Look at there. And buried these people. And buried these people. It still ain't over yet. The pyroplastic flow has not come yet. It's the heat that's good. God didn't play. He buried them homosexuals. He buried those homosexuals. And these people that decided, I'm going to slaughter God's people. Our leader now is slaughtering God's people. You don't understand all the AIDS and herpes that they put on us through the doctors. And all the money that they said they were going to go to us went to white women. They have made us suffer. and die. And now they're really taking all of our jobs, even from college women and college men. And they're making us suffer. Now the pyroclastic flow is coming, and that's going to bury them over 100 feet of ash over the whole city. They had to dig down deep to get back to these cities. Here it comes. In 1 hour, you're going to be dead. In 1 hour, you're going to be dead. 1 hour, people, you're going to be dead. These people suffered in these houses. These people suffered in these houses. These people suffered.
The year is
See how beautiful that is?
People are gathered at the Forum of Pompeii.
That's Pompeii. Homosexual, though. Homosexual. Pornography all over the walls, everywhere. They didn't tell you that because it's Greek, because it's Italian, because it's European. We're good people. No, you're not. You're Christian. No, you're not.
But this video is not only about
No,
the
you're
terrible
not.
fate of Pompeii. It's also about how people lived in this
It was a beautiful seaside place. It was where the soldiers that killed all those Jews went.
I've spent over a month recreating Pompeii in 3D to explore the city that was buried.
And what I want to get to is
ash, almost 2,000.
look at there. Look at there. That's a real person. They found it was hollow, so they put cement in it, and they found these people were in agony. This stuff burned their lungs out. That's what I wanted you to see. This is when you mess with God's people. They're messing with God's people. It's not going to be good. It's not going to be good. And let me ask you something. Why are they going to? Why is the church failing? Well, let me tell you why your Christian churches is failing. Because you're following Pompeii. You're following these people who are destroyed. Why don't they just be gay? Why don't they just be gay? Why don't they just say I'm gay? Go on about their business. But they gotta fool you thinking I'm a church person. And you sitting up there letting them preach. You sitting up there letting them talk. And these people being bishops and with their tight pants on, they tore up pants on. These are two are lovers and they're bishops and all that in the Christian church. Let me tell you, the sacrificing. Let me do this first.
Also, Keith McQueen, Bishop of the Piles Global Network, and First Dean Derek Houghton McQueen. And we're so excited to come to you this time to share some things that we believe would be advantageous for you to know as our followers, as those that are members of our movement and our goal.
Their movement and their goal. What is their movement and their goal? What is the homosexual movement and goal? As bishops and apostle. What is their goal? What is their goal? I like to know, what is their goal? What is it? To change you, to get you unready, unprepared. The falling away is almost complete and you don't even know it. The falling away of God's people is almost complete and you don't even know it. You don't even know that you're falling away. You don't even know that you're dying. You don't even know that you're going to be dead here in a few months or a year tops. You don't know that you're going to be slaves and you're going to be put back into concentration camps. You don't even know that. You don't know that you're going to be slaughtered and raped here in a few. But you got things to do. You're just going on your life and you're going to church with these homosexual preachers and you're just doing your own thing, ain't you? I'm telling you, it's going to end in 1 hour, the Bible says. And the rest of the world is going to look at us, this country, and cry because we ran everything. God has given, he said, I've given the world into the hands of the devil, and that was the Romans. The devil is Romans. They're not like you. They always stick together. They always will push you down because they believe in white. See, God put these Freemasons up here, these Nephilim. These people aren't even real, some of them. That's the slave on the slaughter and little kids burying them in dirt and kicking their heads off. These people aren't even really human. A lot of them. I'm not just talking, I'm talking about white people. And I'm talking about black people. But you're righteous people, right? The trick here, I want to tell you is they put these Nephilim, these devils, or these evil people that happen to be white that got a chance to get to heaven. They go over to the white section. I'm white. I'm a nationalist. I love white people. I love being around white people only. I think all white people should have it. That's white. I'm black. Black power. Black ancestors. Black voodoo. Black all of this garbage. And so the people, the black folk run over to the black ancestors and all this witchcraft and all this garbage. Let me tell you something. That's the trick. That's the deception. That's the trick and the deception. To make you think I'm only safe in white. To make you think because the whites have done it, I'm only safe in black. But God says, if you don't read this Bible, you're safe in Christ. You throw down a white man that's not righteous. You throw down a black man that's not righteous. You don't follow Democrat, Republican, black, white. You're righteous. You're righteous. You're righteous. And they're going to fool you to go to either way, either or. I'm going over here to the white because they got the money and they got everything. I'm going over here to the black because they fight the whites and they love black people. No, they don't. The black man will kill you just as fast. These Greek Freemasons, they'll kill you just as fast as the white man will. That's the trick. You're righteous. You're righteous. In Jesus' name, you're righteous. God bless you. I love you. I hope you listen.